Hey. What's going on out there in YouTube land? Just a real brief Monday news. It's been a while since I've done a live broadcast on a Monday, and I decided to go ahead and go ahead and push one out. I'm sure there'll be someone out there in TV land watching. If not, you guys can catch it on the replay for sure. And I appreciate you guys joining in. It's been a while since I hit Mondays up. I normally do it a little bit later, but I got some things going on, so be sure to check out smartphoneconversations.com because I got a new article going live. I think you guys will enjoy it. That article is going to push out at about 2 o'clock. So after this stream is over, you can check it out. 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, that is. Good things in the news. iPhone 8. Oh boy. There is a lot of speculation around the iPhone 8 right now. So this is going to be good. I mean, I hope it's good. I hope Apple does well. Let me see if I can get some links out there. I can't find the link to this thing. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Love doing live streams. Let's push this thing out here. Let's see if I can get a thing to share. Let's see. We are back. Hello, how you doing? All right, got some people commenting. Yeah, I normally do. I've been doing the news on Mondays, and I've also been doing the news, doing a video on Mondays. But I've been doing a lot on smartphoneconversations.com, so I'm trying to get that pushed out and get rolling. So if you haven't been following along on smartphoneconversations.com, definitely encourage you to go over and check that's my site out. So I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of reading. Hey everybody, I've been doing a lot of reading on the iPhone 8. So there's actually a lot of hype around the iPhone 8. You really can't tell based on the way the internet is buzzing right now about all these new smartphones like the G6 and the Ultra and the S8. But you know the iPhone 8 is going to make an impact. People are going to buy the iPhone 8 or whatever it is. The anniversary iPhone. Yeah, there's hype every year, and people are going to follow the hype train. It'll never stop. Every year when there's new smartphones coming out, um, the hype is what makes it exciting. Because you know it's coming, and that's the fun part. It's like the chase. Um, so the chase, the beginning is where I really like to enjoy that, and I think that's the fun part. But the iPhone 8, now here's where the rumor. One thing about the iPhone 8 that I'm probably not happy about, and the iPhone 8, they already have like the water resistant thing on the current model, so they'll probably keep that for sure. But one thing that I hope that they don't do, and I hope that they don't go with a curved screen. I'm really not feeling the curved screens on devices. Reason being is it gets really difficult to to have a device with a curved screen. I'm believe it or not, I'm really excited about the G6. The G6 is a phone that I just can't wait to purchase it. I think that the iPhone 8, if it comes out with a what's going on, LaShawn? I see you guys. Hey, Cafe, you guys in there? I appreciate you coming in for a few minutes. I'm really not excited about the iPhone 8 having a curved screen. And if we know Apple, I don't think they are really going to rush out there and and do a curved screen. Like I've said in another video, the Apple, they don't really innovate like people think they do. Most of the things that they claim to innovate, and not getting ready to bash Apple. This video is not just about the iPhone coming up, but people seem to think Apple innovates a lot, and I just don't see them innovating as much as what people think. So, I think if Apple pushes out a curved screen, and furthermore AMOLED, if Apple pushes out an AMOLED curved screen on the next iPhone, it I will just I'll be floored by that. I don't think they should focus that kind of switch a big change like that on hardware. I think they should focus on their software because the software to me is really outdated, and it's definitely time to do something different with their products. It's just totally the software is it's time for a change. It's time for an update, Apple. But Apple, if they were to push out a curved AMOLED screen, wow, that just would be. I don't think I would be the first in line. Like I normally am to buy all the iPhones. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm gonna move this camera over a little bit. There we go. So a curved screen, I'm not interested in on an iPhone. Uh, Definitely not interested in them. Now, two things that I've heard. There's probably going to be a 5 inch or 5.2 inch version, 5.15 to be exact, and then there's supposed to be a 5.8 inch one for the newer version of the iPhone. Now, how that's if that's true, who I don't know. Who knows? But all I can tell you is I don't think Apple's going to innovate like people think they're going to innovate. I don't think they're going to make those. Those are huge changes when we're talking about Apple. Those are big changes. A curved AMOLED screen. Mm, I don't know. Let's think about what they've done with their current lineup and how slow they've been to change things. So that's a huge bump. You know, yeah. So Gary says Apple won't change it because people will buy an iPhone regardless. You're right, and and I think if they were to change it, like just up and change the design, um, people would still buy it. Current Apple users would jump right in and buy it regardless. Or people who are just dedicated to Apple. There are people who are dedicated to every OEM. It's not just Apple. People are dedicated to Samsung. People are dedicated to HTC. People are dedicated to LG. It's all the same. It's just with Apple, it seems that they're one of the slower OEMs to do upgrades and big changes, and people buy it regardless. I think the 7 Plus was probably the best phone that they brought out of all the iPhones. And even that, I'm not even really excited about that anymore. It's a good phone. Um, I don't think Apple's going to get rid of the home button. To Edward Jackson, I don't think they're going to get rid of the home button. They're too afraid to make big changes like that. They're not risk takers. They're the risk takers. Samsung has actually pushed out a lot of innovation. LG has, Motorola. All these different companies are actually trying things, and if they flop, they flop. But at least they tried, and they'll show the industry or the customers where they want to go. And LG, hey, they tried it with the G5. The design was, it was a good, strong, it just didn't do well with the customers, and the tech world hated it. The G5 is a great phone. But let's move on to the G6. I don't think Apple's gonna just push out this spectacular hardware that people think they're gonna do. I don't foresee them changing up their grind just like that because they can just release the iPhone 7 SS or the iPhone 7 SE or the iPhone 7 TK, whatever it is. They'll release it and people will buy it. They could sell the same hardware right now, change a little part of it, move the volume rocker, and people will say, "Oh my gosh, they innovated." That's just what it is. The G6. Yes, okay, real quick, the OS is pretty solid. But it's boring. I mean, it gets to me it gets stale like very quickly, and I end up not. Sadly, but I can only use an iPad. My iPad Pro 9.7 is the only iOS device, and my MacBooks. But just phones, I get bored with phones with the Apple products. Phones just so fast. But yeah. Anyway, G6. G6 is supposed to have a release date. It's rumored to have a release date of April 7th. Um, I'm pretty excited about that. I think that the G6 is probably going to be a device, and a lot of people are focusing on the G6, the S8. Everybody's really anticipating the S8, and they're just kind of ignoring. Some people even feel like that the G6 will fail because it's releasing around the same time as the S8. I don't think so. You've got phones out there that are they're going to be. I mean, look at this. Look at what the G6 is offering. It now has waterproofing. Some people are so excited about that. I'm not really pumped about waterproofing, but it has waterproofing. It has. Doesn't it have wireless charging? It has wireless charging, right? I think it does. Um, It has a slight upgrade in the cameras, but it doesn't have a camera hump. The little face on the back is still there, but you've got the volume rockers on the side. It's got a whole new design. It's super small. It's basically a 5.3-inch smartphone's body, which was the G5, with a 5.7-inch display. No bezels all around it. It is just, well, they're really thin, but it's really solid looking device. And I'm definitely planning on grabbing that platinum version. I don't know about the black one. So I have a black Ultra, and this is the front camera on the HTC Ultra. By the way, I told you guys that I would do a live stream with HTC Ultra to test the front camera, and the front camera is fantastic. The HTC Ultra has 4 microphones, so I know the audio is really good on the when you're doing a front-facing video. The audio is solid on the HTC Ultra, and this is the front camera of the HTC Ultra, so it does really well. So the G6 doesn't have wireless charging. Someone said, okay, so it doesn't have wireless charging, but I still think the G6 is gonna be it's gonna be a great package. I don't know why a person would be fast to skip over the G6 and wait on the S8 or the iPhone 8. And also, it's got that high-powered DAC. There's just a lot of reasons. How you doing, Chris? There's a lot of reasons to grab the G6, uh, over the iPhone 8 or the S8. Now, even though we don't know about the S8 and what they're going to be offering, but they're not coming with anything that different. I mean, you're going to see Grace UI, you're going to see waterproofing, you're going to see the curved screens. Pretty much the S8 has completely leaked onto the internet, and that's just not a secret. Um, the US version of the G6 doesn't have a DAC, someone says, but it has wireless charging. Okay, so thank you guys for clearing that up. The G6 doesn't have the high-powered DAC, but it does have the wireless charging. Is what I'm reading here. Um, yeah, okay. So it says it's not. You guys are appreciate it. Not available in. And I've been following the G6, but I tried to avoid watching a bunch of videos on it. One of the few videos that I've watched of people that I have been watching that has a G6 is Jeff Springer, and I know you guys know Jeff Springer, but he's a good. He's a good cat. I like his videos, um, and he's got the G6 early. He got a review unit, and shout out to Jeff Springer. He's a nice guy. But I've been watching his coverage. I try to limit myself on watching phones that I want to review myself because I don't want to take my image of. I don't want to feel any kind of way about it. Like the HTC Ultra. The only difference with this phone is, and that's the front camera that I'm using, is I was able to get my hands on it prior to release, and so I really started to like it. And the cameras on the HTC Ultra are very impressive, and there's just no getting around it. So I think that what's going on, D? Um, yeah, Jeff Springer is a great guy. Um, I think that the G6 is going to be a phone that people should really check out. Now, I mean, I'm going to end up buying it unless LG decides to send me a review unit. I probably would still want to own it though. I'd want to own it. I don't, having review units are cool, but I want to keep it. You know what I mean? So I don't want to just borrow a phone and give it back. And I want to buy. I want to own them. The G6. One thing I will tell you is a lot of times when you see reviewers saying it's not the final hardware, the OEMs tell them to say that because if something goes wrong, they're kind of justified with it. But I think that in my experiences of dealing with phones prior to them coming out, they can tell you that it's not the software. I meant they can tell you that it's not the final software, but that's just a way if you start finding things. They wouldn't give you a review unit of a phone that has some buggy software. I don't believe. That's as I believe. I've dealt with many OEMs, and but the G6, I'm really excited about it. At first, I was kind of always excited about the G6, but you have to limit what you put out there. But I'm trying to avoid watching G6 videos, and it's crazy because Alex, yes, this is live. I'm responding to a comment from someone in the so shout out to the replay crew, but Alex in the live stream just asked, "Was this live?" Yes, it is. Um, the review units that a lot of people get, you know, there's already reviews out there on the G6, like full-fledged reviews, and I don't disrespect the reviewers. I just watch some and I just keep it moving. Um, so, well, hello Russia. Someone wanted me to say hello to Russia. What's going on, Russia? Shout out to the people joining from Russia. Um, so Cafe Enterprise feels like the camera will make or break the G6. I don't really know. Um, if we know LG, the cameras on LG phones are fantastic. They're one of the few phones that actually have um, the some really good cameras on the back. If you remember the V10 and all those guys, I'm telling you, the V10 is is a fantastic set of cameras on that phone. Yeah, and see, um, Power Mobile, how you doing? Um, the review period for a device, and I've done plenty of videos on when is a time to review. I've even posted a poll and said, hey guys, how long do you want me to keep using the device before you want me to review it? Some people said 7 days. I feel like 2 weeks is a kind of middle ground. Um, um, so when I do get the G6, because I plan on getting the G6, can I share something with you guys? Well, as far back on the review thing, I do multiple videos on the same device. Some reviewers hate that. Some reviewers say I'm not doing that. I did a review, I'm moving on to the next thing. I don't do that. I get it, especially if I'm spending my money on it. I'm gonna review the heck out of that thing. I'm gonna do all these videos that you guys request. When you see videos, people request multiple videos. Like when you see things, I'm doing it because someone's asking to do it. Like I get so many emails, man. People want to see revisited videos. They want to see what the device is like 6 months down the line or a year down the line. Now, while obviously I'm not using these devices as my daily drivers, sometimes I'm keeping it in rotation. Like the Blade VA Pro is in rotation, but it's not one of my daily drivers at the moment. But it's in rotation, so that means that at some point or another around this house, if you guys know, I keep phones positioned throughout the house. If you know me, I keep phones positioned everywhere because I don't want to carry. I don't want to keep charging phones. So I have all the same devices, the same things set up. I have all my devices set up the same, pretty much with all the same apps, so I can do it. Now, when I am reviewing a device, that's on my main SIM card on my hip. That's the best way to do it. But as far as a review period, I think 2 weeks. Um, I still have the Xperia Ultra, and it's a fantastic phone. It's actually on my office desk, and I was playing with it this morning. But I think that a review period of 2 weeks, that's pretty good. And someone said in my after the hype video that I just posted for the X8 Ultra, um, they said, "Hey, it's too soon for this. It's too soon to have after the hype." But those are just people who probably have not been following my channel long enough to understand why I do after the hype. And all that means, and I've said it a million times, all that means is just that everybody has, like I was talking about earlier, that chase. The chase. When you meet a woman, you're the excitement that builds when you first meet them. And then when you get married, and then after you're married for 15, 20 years, some couples still hold hands in public. Some couples still do the same things as though they were just meeting each other. But after the hype, the period, it doesn't stay that way forever. The hype wears off, and you learn about the product, so you do things differently. Using marriage was probably a bad idea. Um, I love you, babe. I wasn't talking about us, but after the hype is the excitement's gone. The unboxing is gone. You know what I'm saying? It's wearing off. So I think the stream might be buffering a little bit. I'm getting a stability message here. If it is, I'll wait for a second because I can see it myself. Sorry if the stream's okay. It looks like it might be coming back. I'll wait for a second. I don't know why I would have a bad connection because I have fantastic internet service. I have like 500 down. I'll wait. I think it might be coming back now. Yeah, I don't know. I have fantastic internet connection, so I don't know why it's buffering like that. Maybe I'll go sit. I mean, my router is like in the center of my house, um, so I have no idea why it's buffering. YouTube has been giving me a lot of problems too for some reason. I don't know. LaShawn said 500 down ain't nothing. You know, man, 500 megabytes per second. That's pretty good. So, I mean, you must have that 1 gigabit, that super fast blazing internet. Um, Sean's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the internet. It's definitely YouTube though, because um, anyway, let's keep it moving. Um, what was I talking about? Review periods? I forgot. Yeah, refresh. I guess they're saying in the stream to refresh if you're having some latency issues. Um, LaShawn, I need LaShawn around and some of those guys that I talk to regularly. Man, these guys keep me going. Um, but anyway, the G6 is exciting, man. You if you sleep on the G6, um, that's some Wi-Fi. If you sleep on the G6, you know, if you focus only on the S8, you know, you're gonna miss out on some great products. Like on my channel, I seem to recommend. It seems like, all right, tell me if I'm wrong here. And again, I'm not taking shots at anybody, but whatever. It seems like I review some of the phones that like huge vloggers don't want to review. You know, and if they do review them, you know, they give them a quick boom and it's done. That you never see it again. It's like they didn't want to review it. If you saw me on Twitter, um, about the thank you for RC Flyer for the donation. I appreciate it. Um, if you saw me on Twitter, I was talking about the Liekola Pro 3. The Liekola Pro 3. Now, this website posted an article saying that the Liekola Pro 3 basically had mediocre specs and wasn't a good phone, and it had decent specs, which is completely false because basically what they're doing is they're calling every flagship that's currently out pretty much, and some of the ones that were late 2016 mediocre, and they're calling them no good, which is stupid. I don't get it. But that kind of fired me up, man, because the Snapdragon 821 is not a mediocre processor. The G6 has the Snapdragon 821. You don't need 6 gigs of RAM. You don't need a 4,000, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which I actually would prefer. But and I agree with this person here, Hector, man. I said that in my own review. I said fantastic hardware. I didn't buy it for the software. I said that as soon as I cracked it open on my first impressions. The Liekola Pro 3, let's be real here. I'm just going to keep it real. It's a third of the cost of the HTC Ultra, and it's probably going to be a third of the cost of the G6. Let's be real about it. It pretty much has the same internals and specs, if not better specs, than the OnePlus 3T, except for the 6 gigs of RAM. You got phones like it's even beating out one of my favorites, the HTC Ultra. Or not the HTC Ultra, the Axon 7. It's beating out the Axon 7 as far as specs go, and price value. It's beating it out, man. I still would take the Axon 7 though. So let me see here. Can someone sub to me? So the animator, could you guys sub to the animator if you're in this? Sub to the animator. He's looking for some love. Other news is the Key One. I'm getting to a cafe. The Key One. I've already discussed. I think I've got a complete video on the Key One. I'm excited about the Key One. Sorry, I'm kind of looking over here. I'm not looking at the viewfinder. The HTC Ultra's camera is down here on this bottom corner. So it's kind of weird. I'm used to looking up at the top up here or something like that. But nonetheless, the HTC Key One, I've already spoken on this. And some of the comments that I got from people, they're from people who just don't follow me. And they don't know that I have a deep passion for BlackBerry. So they'll look at the one video that I made on, or one of the videos that I'm I'm eating KFC in the shower, gaming Stacy. Wow, that's funny. Um, some people will look at the one video I did on the BlackBerry Key One and say that I hate BlackBerry or whatever. They don't know me. They don't know my passion for BlackBerry. And if I say the BlackBerry Key One should not cost $550, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. We all get an opinion. Um, the BlackBerry Key One should have fantastic battery. The cameras are supposed to be really, really good. I mean, they're supposed to be fantastic, like really hot. And I'm hoping that I can reach out to the PR team at BlackBerry and they'll send me a review unit. I'm not willing to spend $550 on that phone. Someone said, I quit being cheap and just get the phone. All right, well, sorry you feel that way. Yes, I am a BlackBerry fanboy, a fan man, not a boy. But I'm a fan of BlackBerry, and I've always been I still run my BlackBerry group, guys. I don't talk about it much, but if you look in the links in the description of all of my videos, you'll see the BlackBerry group still there, you know? But yeah, I think that BlackBerry, they don't need to make a comeback. They need to make a mark. People hear the name BlackBerry and they just immediately dislike the sound of it. So, the BlackBerry Key One is they're gonna have to come correct. I'm hoping that they do some kind of discount, what I'm saying, at the beginning. I would love to have seen Cafe. It's like reading my mind, man. Shout out to Cafe, man. Gary, you guys are definitely, BlackBerry 11 would have been great. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to have seen another BlackBerry OS device. I don't know why they're so afraid to do that, but they're willing to take a risk by putting bling Android on a BlackBerry. The Priv, I said it before, to me it was a total flop. That thing went on fire sale immediately, and it's still on the price decline now. You can actually get a brand new unlocked Priv for $299. Yes, D-Love is correct. For me, I agree with D-Love. Pricing is the only issue for me. That device looks phenomenal. I really like it. So, if BlackBerry doesn't do right, and they decide to stick with this $550 price tag, it's just gonna be another Priv. While it does offer something the Priv does not offer, still, I just don't see it taking off. And if it takes off, great. I can guarantee you of one thing though, I'm not paying $550 for it. I think it's a phenomenal device. I don't see $550 coming out of my pocket for it. They need to do something other than Android and at least give us a chance to enjoy BB again. BlackBerry OS, still an amazing OS. Still amazing. So another device, and this is going to be a sleeper device. Mark my words. The Motorola G5 Plus. That's going to be a sleeper device. You know why? Because of the cameras. Have you guys checked out the cameras on that phone? I've already reached out to the PR team in Motorola. The cameras, what's going on, Ray? The cameras on the G5 Plus, the Plus, not the G5, the Plus, take note of those cameras. Now, you probably see other people reviewing it before me. I don't know. If Motorola was to send me a device, I would definitely tell you when I'm doing that unboxing or doing my hands-on, hey, shout out to Motorola for sending me this device. I appreciate it. What's going on, Mark? But look for some great photo taking and video taking from the G5 Plus. The G5 Plus is going to be really nice. I'm telling you guys. Now, that's a phone. I don't have a problem spending $300 on that if I have to. But I'm hoping and praying that Motorola will send me a review unit. That would be fantastic because I'll do it right. I'm not saying other people will do it wrong, but I'm just saying because I do multiple. I try to cover everything separately and not rush it all into 8 minutes. And sometimes that could be a bad thing. Some people might not want to see multiple videos on the same device, but this is how I do it. I owe you guys, if you're watching my channel, I owe you at least 5 videos on one device. That's just the rule that I have for myself. I don't want to cram everything. I don't want to use a phone for 2 weeks straight and never report back to you on it by only giving you after the hype and then the review. I don't want to do that. I want to give you multiple videos on this device, man. I'm telling you, the cameras on the G5 Plus, take note of them because there's already phones like the HTC Ultra's cameras are way better than the iPhone's cameras already. So, you know, um, the cameras might be the highlight. And some people are saying, hey, um, the G5 has a 5.2-inch display. You know, that's not something that affects me. There's a phone out there for everybody, but the G5 Plus, when is it due out? I reached out to Motorola, um, and they haven't. They hit me back, but not with something that I wanted. They didn't give me any kind of information about like that. So, um, but the price is supposed to be about 350 at the most for the G5 Plus. Now I've been hearing 299, and that's all I've been hearing. Just 299. So I'm really hoping that Motorola stays true to the game and actually they do it right with a price tag of under 350 because they did shrink our screen, right? They shrunk our screen, and they owe us at least that. I think someone was asking about the G6. Yeah, 300 is definitely a good price for that G5 Plus because the G5 Plus is cameras, man. And the G5 Plus has what? The Snapdragon 625. 625. It has the 625. So that's going to be, we all know the 625 is a very efficient processor. You're guaranteed to get 6 hours at least on most phones that have the 625. So you got to think of it that way. So um, some other news is floating around. I want to ask you: have you guys heard of any kind of pricing close on the G6? LG is keeping. I know I've already discussed the G6, but I kind of hinted around 699 to 750. Um, I'll get your question in a second, Ray. But what do you guys think that pricing of that G6 is going to be? 750 or 699 or so? You think so? You think they're going to pull a? I don't think LG is going to try to pull a 850 on us. Yeah, I was thinking about. I've actually heard 699, but I kind of got a hint of 699 with 700. Um, but 700 would actually be pretty sweet because then they're definitely taking a shot at the HTC Ultra, the S8. They're gonna hit some heads with that. 750, yeah, that's probably gonna be. I don't think they're gonna go over 750 US dollars. I don't know. Um, Jim Walker, you obviously don't know me very well if you think I don't like LG products. So let me go back up to Ray's question. What do I think about the Galaxy J7 2017? It's rumored to be out right now. Uh, I've actually pulled. Are you talking about the latest J7? Because I looked at the J7 and I found it for like $250 max. It was 300 and something. Um, but I think it's probably going to be. They're not going to bring that to the US at all. But the J7 Prime. Let me see if that's what Ray said. His stream is going fast. Oh, he just said the Galaxy J7 20. Okay, I thought you were talking about the J7 Prime, Ray. But I think it's probably gonna be good. No, okay, the J7. Okay, no, the 2017. Right, it's not out yet. I haven't heard anything about that. Is it supposed to have the 625 in it? I'll have to do some research and look up the 2017 Galaxy J7. The J7 Prime definitely was out. Um, but the J7, I haven't done too much. I haven't seen too many updates on that or research at all on that. So We shall see how that one fares, but I think it's probably going to do well. I'm gonna do some research on it, right? Is a removable battery still something that you guys are excited about? Removable batteries. Removable batteries for me are not a must-have, um, but you know, having it is. I don't have to have it as long as the phone works really really well and the battery life is really really good. I don't really care about a removable battery because I got the after having and again the battery life matters um, to a certain extent, but it's you have to have the software optimized correctly so it doesn't matter. Like the X8 Ultra, fantastic phone sitting up there. Um, that battery life has actually been better than I thought it would be, and even the X8 Ultra I'm using right now to shoot this one, the battery life has been better uh, than I expected it to be. Battery life has actually been pretty good. I've been getting over 5 hours over Wi-Fi. And my latest one I put it on the charger this morning. I'm using it right now though, but it's fully charged. But before I put it on the charger, um, definitely I got 4 hours. Just see that the video is up right now. I just put that video up. I got 4 hours and like 5 hours and 40 minutes or so. So you know, I think the X8 Ultra's battery is good. I think it's good. So, but every user, and that's the reason that I put that video out because Tony Pazzo, shout out to Tony Pazzo, he released a video saying talking about, he needs questions on whether or not the Ultra is good on battery. And I didn't put the video out solely for that, but he was just one of many people that actually were talking about the battery. And then I got a bunch of inboxes about the battery. I get them all the time. And I said, I'll just talk about it in this video. But the battery on the XA Ultra, battery life, whether you have a removable battery or not, you still can have bad battery life. It's just a matter of optimization, how you're using the phone, what you have synced. There's too many things that go into a bad battery life. You know, the having a removable battery, it is a plus. Like on my Galaxy J7, the first generation of it, the one I still have, I bought the one at launch. It's funny that phone has a removable battery, but the battery life is fantastic. The battery life is fantastic. So, yeah, and I have a spare battery for it too. But the battery life is fantastic. So, I don't really see. Um, I guess removable batteries are good to a certain extent, but it's not a must-have for me. I'm not set on having a removable battery. Um, so a little bit of news for you guys, man. Anyway, smartphoneconversations.com. I officially launched it. I've said it many times, and I'll keep saying it. So be sure to hit the links in these descriptions after this is non-live, and it's actually just a regular video. But shout out to the replay crew. But you can still go over to smartphoneconversations.com right now. You can check out the latest post. I think you guys would enjoy the latest post. It's pretty entertaining. Wrote that one up for you guys. I think it'll definitely bring some conversation about smartphones and tech and what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy. What do I think about the S8? Shout out to Anthony just joining in. The S8 is going to be nice. Probably, I'm sure it's going to sell. It's not. It's this one. It's a Samsung product, and people are going to buy it. It's like iPhones. People are going to buy them. Regardless. So we don't have to worry about if that device is going to do good or not. It's going to sell regardless. People are just going to buy it. They're going to buy it. Can people submit an article to you on your website? Just send me a message. How you doing? Meet the Nelsons. Gear, if you wanted to, I don't know. What do you mean? Like send me some news or something like that for me to write an article on it, or I don't know what you mean, but shout me out, please. Damon Lessert. There's your shout out. People are going to buy off the brand. Totally right. Jason Gill. People are going to always buy the brand. And it's not to hate on the OEMs, but some OEMs just have fantastic marketing. This is what it is. Samsung has great marketing, just like Apple has great marketing. um, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So is YouTube my job? Now I can see you don't follow me, Joe. You should start keep tagging along, Joe. Anybody else could probably tell you that no, YouTube's not my job. It's just a hobby that I do. But you know, there's going to be people buying phones just because of the brand. Okay, I got a question. Do you think the fingerprint placement is bad for the SA? Actually, no, because I don't know how it's going to. It's supposed to be a small phone still. Um, and you're right, BlackBerry. Real quick, BlackBerry does have terrible marketing at this point. Um, but I don't know. The fingerprint reader's on the back. It's on the top next to the camera. We don't know how big the phone is going to be yet. So I could tell you now, yeah, I don't like the placement, but I don't have it in hand, so I can't tell you what it's gonna feel like. So that's just what it is. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Rolling up on 41 minutes. I appreciate you guys joining me for Monday's news. I'll try to do another. Let me see what LaShawn said before I get out of here. Oh man. Oh yeah, shout out to D, man. If you don't follow me on Twitter, man, I'm on Spreaker. So I do a podcast on Tuesdays. You guys are keeping up with that. I appreciate it. I do a live podcast, and I'll have a live podcast every Tuesday on Spreaker. If you don't follow me on social media, Mr. J.L. Williams, that way you can finally start catching me on Spreaker. You can look me up on Spreaker too. Just follow me on Twitter, Mr. J.L. Williams, and you'll be able to see. You'll be able to keep up with pretty much everything because the links go out to Twitter and the links go out to Google Plus. So the live broadcast is the live podcast is on Tuesdays, and it always posts on my YouTube channel. I just started posting it there, but the live podcast is on Tuesdays, and I'll keep that going. And smartphoneconversations.com, you can see everything over there as well. But it's your man Jay Will. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Monday, and thanks for joining me for Monday's news. I'll see you on the other side. Take care.